Welcome in to the Fun Astrology Podcast. We're going to continue the wave here on Tuesday, November 14th. Thomas Miller, thanks for joining us. So glad you are here. Let's talk about Luna again. Wasn't that fun yesterday? And did you see the video? If you did not, you can catch it on our YouTube channel, TikTok, Instagram, and Discord. And in light of this, there's a new link to get Kristen's lunar calendar, and that's funastrology.com/moon. You can see it and download it right from that page. Wanted to make it wherever you were, you could get to the list of what's going on with the moon. And I've been following this and tracking it back, did a little back testing, of some things that happened recently and saw what kind of moon was going on there. And it's pretty interesting, the correlation. Now, one of the things we didn't mention yesterday with this technique, if you didn't catch the technique, listen to yesterday's episode. We're going to just pick up, presuming that you heard that. One of the things that you cannot do is create absolutes around this, all right? First of all, it's astrology, and there is always a flex. I mean, you've established, if you've listened here very long, you realize that we don't go with fated outcomes that we can't control. We are not puppets on the end of planetary strings. We have free choice and free will, and we can direct the course of our lives. But there are energies in our world, in our universe. I mean, talk to the ER doc or the teacher or the cop about what happens around full moons. That's an energy, and we're just surfing energy. That's the way we do astrology. We catch a wave. So you can't be extreme and say, then okay, every time the moon trines Jupiter as the last aspect before it changes a sign, I'm going to go buy a lottery ticket. Yeah, I would not go there because there are also universal odds, and you're working with a system that is craftily rigged against you. Yeah, sure, sometimes people win, and okay, it's fun to play, but don't extrude this to that an if-then kind of scenario that is absolute. If I take action during the void of course or don't take action during the void of course, all we're doing here is catching a tailwind. The other thing we're doing is we're aligning the rhythm of our lives with the rhythm of the earth, the way that the moon moves so fast, of course, obviously the fastest thing in the sky. And we can change with that too. Our emotions change. And with all of these little subtle aspects, we can do things that create different results and get our body in the rhythm of that. And it's a cool flow with Mother Gaia. So today, for example, we just have lunar aspects. There are no other planetary aspects until tomorrow morning. Let's go ahead and mention that one now. Just get it out of the way. Mercury Sextiles Venus tomorrow. Mercury in Sag, Venus at home in Libra. If you'd like to set the clock, now we're getting a little celebrity. 7:48 a.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. Now, you might have to wake somebody up to do this, depending on where you are. But tell somebody you really love them at 7:48 in the morning. Venus is at home. Mercury's in Sag. You might just be glad you did. And if not, you might check Saturn's transit through your relationship house. See what's going on there. But that's the only thing ahead of and into tomorrow. But for example, using this technique, last night I had to send an email that I did not want to have a follow-up response from. So I set my clock, I set my alarm to send it at just after 6:03 p.m. I waited a few minutes after just to make sure it was solidly there in void of course, and I sent the email. We'll see what happens. Now that's adjusting my schedule because it would have been something I would have otherwise done during the day, but I want no response. So boom, it just will end. Now, today, for example, at 9:03 a.m., and you have to look at your own local times. By the way, Time Nomad has this built in, so it's in there. It's from the dashboard, but you have to go down to the Void of Course section. Astro-seek.com also has the lunar times built in, and Kristen has the last aspect of everything on the lunar chart. Now, that last aspect is the thing that sets the tone. Not only the aspect, but also the planet and the signs. So you really get to practice your astrology here. If you're just learning, that's great. You could get Judy Hall's The Astrology Bible, and you could have that as a reference. You could have the 101 course if you wanted to go through a course and learn how to synthesize it all together. but you're going to be taking the characteristics of each one and putting them together to make these decisions. So, for example, this morning you could see that the moon conjoins Mercury in Sagittarius. So here again, things mercurial, traveling, sending communication, etc. You would wonder, well, I wonder how that would turn out if I sent something at 9:03 this morning, thereabouts, close to it, right? A little before it, if you wanted to catch the waxing or applying part of the phase. You say, I wonder how that would turn out under this transit. So the moon is going through Sagittarius. Well, this is where we hop forward. Now you get your lunar calendar, and you look at and you see tomorrow at near 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time is when the moon squares Pluto. Ruh-roh, Scooby. So right there you realize, okay, things during this transit could be a little difficult. Now, can you play a positive aspect? Well, you could, because this morning at 9:03, the moon conjoins Mercury in Sagittarius. But the whole transit ends with a square to Pluto, and that's not until nearly dinner time Eastern Time tomorrow night. So does this mean you don't do anything for the next 2 days? No, obviously not. That's too granular. But what it would do is have you look down and at least see what the next phase, the next ingress into Capricorn would be. That happens to be a conjunction with Pluto. And by the way, because of where Pluto and Saturn both are, they're going to show up a lot as the last aspect. Not every time, but often. So you have to take that into consideration first. And then you have to say, well, would the conjunction with Mercury, and this is where I think you can bring the detriment factor in. You could say, well, Mercury is a little bit dampered in Sagittarius, possibly. Okay, so you've got that and Pluto as the last aspect. Now what are you going to do with that conjunction? Is that a favorable, or is that maybe a be cautious? Remember, the conjunction can be both ways, depending on which planet it conjoins. And if you really wanted to get into the rhythm of this, then you could say, well, I need to send this important communication. Is that a good time to do it? Is there a scorpionic component or a Plutonian component to it? Maybe if it's about a research project like we used yesterday, be a great time to do it. Maybe if it's about somebody's end-of-life planning, then that would be a good time. What about somebody that's going through a little struggle and you just wanted to send them a note of encouragement? Well, that's always a good time to do that. But maybe, where it might come across a little bit misinterpreted, here I think that would be very well received. It's that kind of flow. But tomorrow night, when the moon goes void, of course, having followed that square to Pluto, is that a void, of course, you really want to initiate something, even if it's like filing your taxes? Probably not, if you don't have to. If you live in the U.S., it's an 8-hour, almost 9-hour void, of course. Go to sleep. Moon will be in the next sign when you get up. Take care of business Thursday. You can see how following this could really create almost an ease to when you do things. It's like, I don't have to do this right. We're so programmed. Now. Send the email. Put the text out. We're all just like, blah, 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 right now. Like Noel Till said about Uranus. Bzz. Bzz. Everything's bzz. Chill. Moon's void, of course. Go to sleep. Watch a movie. Watch a YouTube. Watch an astrological instruction video. Listen to the horary course from Robert Glasscock. Learn how to do this on any kind of question. Make good use of your time, and then get up and take care of the business tomorrow. That's how you can play this. I love this. I love it. And I love you. See you back tomorrow.